Barcelona is one of those cities that immediately captivates its visitors upon arrival. Whether you're wandering through the moody streets of the Gothic quarter, taking a stroll beneath the lush greenery of Las Ramblas, or standing in awe before Gaudi's architectural wonders, it's impossible not to be swept away by the romance and beauty of this city. Nestled along the northeastern coast of Spain along the Balearic Sea, Barcelona is distinctly its own. It proudly serves as the capital of Catalunya, a region of Spain that has its own cuisine, language, culture, and history. Today, Barcelona is a melting pot of 179 different nationalities. It's home to roughly 5.6 million people. Yet every year, its epic nightlife, stunning beaches, killer art scene, and fantastic food draw in millions of visitors. It's impossible to explore all of Barcelona in a single trip, so we're sharing some of the best things to do in Barcelona to help you make the most of your visit here. To kick off our time here in Barcelona, we're headed to Casa Batlló, one of the 12 buildings you can tour from the famous architect Antoni Gaudí. This is one of the top things to do in Barcelona, so we are arriving first thing in the morning. We've been to several of Gaudí's properties before in past visits, but there's always something new to see, and the properties are just so stunning. So I'm really excited to show you around. Antoni Gaudí was commissioned to build this personal residence for the wealthy Batlló family on Passeig de Gràcia, one of the most desirable streets for Barcelona's elite at the turn of the century. Even though Gaudí was one of several esteemed architects in Barcelona at that time, it's easy to see what made his work so distinct. As a Catalan native, he drew inspiration from his faith, his culture, and his surroundings. But nature is often what people see first in his work. His designs rarely contain flat surfaces, and he seamlessly integrates naturalistic features in organic forms, curves, and asymmetry, both for functionality and beauty. The facade of Casa Batlló appears to have dragon-like features in its colorful ceramic tiles adorning its roof. Its unconventional balconies mimic seashells, which some believe resemble a Venetian mask, while others see a turtle's skull. The natural elements continue as you move inside the home, from its mushroom-shaped fireplace, ceilings that look like scales of a reptile, windows shaped like the silhouette of a turtle, and worm-like chimneys on the roof. Every aspect of Gaudí's design was purposeful, striking a perfect balance between sustainability, functionality, and aesthetics.
This is a totally new experience. We didn't get to do this last time. Oh my gosh, that was so cool! This is our second time visiting this house, and the experience was just as amazing as the first, but maybe better because of that Gaudí queue. I'm so glad we got here when we did. This place as a zoo now. There's so many people waiting to get in. Make sure to book your tickets in advance. We purchased these tickets with GetYourGuide, the sponsor of this video. If you're not familiar with GetYourGuide, it is an online booking service that has thousands of unique tours that you can take in hundreds of cities across the world. It is our go-to resource whenever we're visiting a new destination. Almost every experience you're going to see us shared here was booked with GetYourGuide. They also offer exclusive opportunities to do things like skip the line, and you can get into places early. For example, with Casa Batlló, we were able to score tickets 30 minutes before. We just used the app, and it was super simple. We're going to have links for all of the tours we took with GetYourGuide in the video description below if you are interested in taking them for yourself. And on any other trip you're taking, I highly recommend exploring GetYourGuide. I promise you're going to find a super cool experience.
And this is the area, well,
As foodies, we absolutely love getting to know the regional foods. And Barcelona has its own unique cuisine, being from Catalunya. It has a lot of Spanish influence, but it also has several of its own dishes. And today we're going to be learning about the history of the food here and trying so many tasty foods with a tour that we booked on GetYourGuide. We're going to 3 stops. The first 2 are going to be small tapas plates. We're going to have some wine, some vermouth, which if you don't know, that is actually Spain's national drink. It's not sangria. To finish off the tour, we're going to be going to a formal dinner at a higher end gastronomic experience. We haven't been on a food tour in a hot minute, and I am hungry.
Barcelona has 40 neighborhoods, and Each neighborhood was designed to be completely independent because when they're building this part of the city, they had this futurist thought. They said, okay, let's build the Eixample without corners because in the future will be trains going around the city. Let's make it easy for them. The trains never arrived. Every neighborhood has its own market, its own library, its own post office. So it was built such that you don't need to go to another neighborhood to do your important things. So every neighborhood in Barcelona has its own market. If you want a market experience, don't go to La Boqueria. You should go there to see it because it's the oldest market in town. It's over 200 years. But this is not the most representative experience in a food market. It's very crowded, it's very busy, and it's very pricey.
So lemony and bright.
Tortilla Española, the classic. Oh my gosh. I've never had this before. It's chorizo with onion and a yummy sauce.
It's good. It's in like a saucy gravy. The sausage is light, it's not really spicy.
Final restaurant we're at is so beautiful. Gourmet tortilla de patatas. It has like an Asian influence to it. Oh my god, it's so good. This was an absolutely fantastic tour. We had such great conversations, such great food, so much wine. It was a lot of food though, so come hungry if you're interested in trying this food tour for yourself. When coming to Barcelona, we will have a link down below for the exact tour we took. Today we came to the local market for where we're staying in El Born, which is Santa Catarina. There's definitely still tourists here. There's pretty much no way to evade that when you're coming to Barcelona, but it's definitely a better experience. Mercat Santa Catarina feels really modern, but it does have a lot of history. It was originally a monastery. There's monasteries all throughout Barcelona in this historic part of the town. And eventually they needed this space for things like a market, so they tore the building down and they built an outdoor market. And finally in the beginning of the 19th century, they closed it in, made it into the structure we see today. So people have been shopping here for 100 years now, which is pretty cool. They have a small museum where you can see part of the old monastery, and they have photos of people shopping in this market over the years. This city has something about it. Everywhere you walk, it's like you're walking in a romantic novel. Every building is so beautiful. All of the terraces decorated with the plants and flowers. Right now we're walking around the El Born neighborhood, which is a very popular spot for tourists. Tons of Airbnbs, hotels. It's got that romantic charm and a lot of great restaurants and bars all around. So it's a great central spot for you to springboard as you're exploring. That's where we are staying during our week here. It's also close to the Gothic quarter, which is another really beautiful place to explore. This is a really cute little spot. We've gotten really lucky everywhere we've gone so far that we've just been able to slide right in without a reservation. After we got sat, every single time they've turned people away. So I do highly recommend making reservations if you're coming for like peak lunch hours, which would be from like 2 to 3, or if you're coming for dinner hours around 9:30, 10. Then I would definitely recommend having a reservation, or come early and then you might be able to snag a spot. I don't remember what this sauce was. I think it was a morcilla, like a black sausage that they put in the sauce. Then it's got a beautiful rice dish.
It's probably gonna be so hot. The texture is very good. The flavor is banging.
That's what the bread's for. This pork dish looks fantastic. That's good. None of these dishes are like superly authentic or what most people think of when they think of Spain or Catalan, but this is what most people would be eating on a regular day, like really beautifully created meals using local ingredients. And I really like coming to places like this where you don't necessarily recognize everything on the menu. It gives you diversity in the food while still remaining authentic for the area.
Superly.
Did I say superly?
It says superly.
Finishing off our lunch with some gelato. This place is vegan gelato. which is not our MO. We're not vegetarian or vegan, but the last time that we visited Barcelona, I was vegetarian. Thankfully, the city has a ton of options if you don't eat meat, because the Spanish cuisine can be very meat forward and meat heavy. A lot of times in smaller towns, you'll see things say like vegetarian on the menu, and it always has some type of fish. It's not actually vegetarian. So it is really refreshing to come to such a big city and know that you have options. But definitely get this pistachio gelato. It is fantastic. Super creamy, super flavorful. I'm excited we actually get to visit the Picasso Museum this time. Last time we visited, they were closed on Monday, which was the only day we had to explore. We got our tickets. It was 22 euros for us, which included the audio guide. And we're gonna be spending like the next 2 to 3 hours enjoying the beautiful work of Spanish painter Picasso. It is incredible to see the skill he had at such a young age. Pablo painted this when he was 15 years old. His father was an art teacher, so he got formal training. By the time he was 13 to 15, he was going to a formal school here in Barcelona and entering into contests where he won a gold medal prize in Malaga for this. What was I doing when I was 13 and 15?
Not painting large format paintings?
No. The Blue Period is one of the most famous series from Picasso. Almost all of the pieces are done in variations of blue and have a very melancholy feel to them. He painted those here in Barcelona just after his friend committed suicide, and it was a very dark period in his life. And this work was kind of what helped him work through that and process the emotions. It's also amazing to see his progression as an artist. I can't believe the first room that we were in and the final one that we finished in, that it's even the same artist. The styles that he used constantly changed over time. He often took inspiration from other famous artists as he was growing as an artist himself. It's really cool to see that progression and all the stages he had to go through to be perfectly Picasso. We came to the plaza where the Catedral de Barcelona is. This is one of the most famous churches aside from the Sagrada Familia, and it is absolutely stunning. We're here right as the sun is setting and the lighting on the church is just magic. This plaza is also so alive right now. One of the things we love about Barcelona is all of the little plazas that are tucked away on the side streets. I highly encourage you just to get lost in the streets and discover all of the beauty. There's normally people playing music. I'm really feeling the vibes right now in Barcelona. I think golden hour might be its most magical hour. The Gothic Quarter is Barcelona's oldest district, where its narrow, dimly lit alleyways transport you back to the Middle Ages. Some parts of this quarter have a history stretching over 2,000 years, when it was the Roman town of Barcino. Originally, this area was completely walled in, but in the late 19th century, city planners expanded Barcelona and tore the walls down. This area has undergone significant restoration over the 20th century, so many parts of the quarter aren't quite as old as they seem. One spot that often fools people is the iconic Gothic bridge, which despite its appearance was built in the 1920s. In any case, this beautiful neighborhood is an absolute must visit and will sweep you off your feet. I just wonder what life would have been like in the 1500s and 1600s when people were living here.
Probably would have been great for me. It would suck for you.
Yeah, that's true. Depending on my class, it probably wouldn't have been that great. They found a clue. They're like looking at the fountain, which is supposed to be pointing like cardinal directions or time, I guess. I don't know. They're like, which one's 12 o'clock? How do we know this? Is supposed to represent the cross? Like the Da Vinci Code or something? National treasure? Are we gonna see them like open a vault?
That'd be sick.
That's like, I would say, a top dream of mine, to actually be a part of like a treasure hunt like that. Drop a comment below if you agree. This might be the best thing we've eaten all trip.
No way.
We're We're using the metro to get around the city mostly. There's abundant taxis. There's also a fantastic bus system, but the metro is definitely the most cost-effective way to get around Barcelona. On our first day, we ended up purchasing these passes, which gives us 10 fares or 10 rides on the metro within the main tourist zone, Zone 1. It only cost us around 11.50 euros. The metro can be super packed at certain hours, so be prepared for that. Just be very aware of your surroundings when you're in Barcelona. Pickpocketing is a very big problem. You definitely want to check out the Plaza Reial, which dates back to the 1800s and just has a really beautiful tropical vibe with the yellow buildings and all of the super tall palms. Make sure to keep an eye out for Gaudi's first work he ever did after graduating from college at the art school here in Barcelona. He created 2 lamps that are very clearly Gaudi. No trip to Barcelona would be complete without a visit to La Sagrada Familia. As the tallest building in Barcelona, this monumental basilica was Gaudi's most ambitious project and has now become an icon for the city. The initial construction of La Sagrada Familia began in 1882. Knowing he would never live to see it finished, Gaudi left detailed plans and models for future architects to build upon. Nearly 150 years later, the project remains incomplete. This basilica is an illustration of Gaudi's devotion to the church, drawing from his love of nature and his deep faith. The exterior is made of hand-carved stone with intricate details, natural elements, and religious symbolism woven throughout its 2 facades. The Nativity facade includes Gothic-inspired sculptures and details reflecting the story of the birth of Jesus. The Passion facade on the opposite side has a more stoic tone, as it depicts the crucifixion and final days of Christ. While the exterior is a sight to behold, the true magic takes place inside the basilica walls. Gaudi wanted to make the inside of the church feel like a sanctuary, a place of beauty and spirituality that inspired and captivated those who visited. The breathtaking spectacle of light and color bounces off the stained glass windows, painting a rainbow in the church. The massive columns resemble trees and branch out to support the ornate ceiling. No matter your beliefs, the towering magnificence and intricate details of what is often considered Gaudi's masterpiece are bound to leave you inspired and awestruck. This is the most visited attraction in all of Barcelona, so book your tickets early. We'll have skip the line tickets available with Get Your Guide linked below. Today we are finishing off our Gaudi tour at Parc Güell. We've visited this spot in the past, so we know how popular of an activity it is. So we've come first thing in the morning to try and beat the crowds. This is another tour we've booked with Get Your Guide, which we will have linked down below. The Güell family commissioned Gaudi to build this estate in 1900. The goal was to make it into a sustainable community with 60 individual houses and a shared common space in between. True to Gaudi's signature style, the property design was anything but ordinary. He used native plants to combat erosion while ingeniously integrating rainwater catchment systems into the whimsical structures. Only 2 homes were completed by Gaudi, but the park is filled with lush gardens, meandering paths, and its most renowned feature, a covered marketplace with a mosaic lizard fountain and colorful benches that surround an overlook, providing the most breathtaking views of Barcelona and the Balearic Sea. It is just madness. Everyone is just rushing all around, like pushing through you to get their photo shot. And as the day goes on, people care less and less.
Oh yeah.
About formalities. I put my leg up on the bench to like block our view so we could just get a picture, and someone literally stepped over my leg on the bench so that they could get their shot. Unfortunately, when the construction was completed in 1914, there were no buyers for the planned community. After Josep Güell passed in 1922, his children sold the property to the city, who converted the Güell home into a school and then opened the space up as a public park. In the 1960s, the park became the Gaudi House Museum and later gained the title of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, millions of visitors come to tour this colorful park to admire the quirky buildings, unique landscaping, and unusual tirework mosaics of Antoni Gaudí. Cannot emphasize enough, if you are coming to Barcelona, you have to participate in the Menu del Dia. It's a special menu they offer only for lunchtime. It changes every single day, but it's offered at a fixed price, which is really affordable, anywhere from 12 to 15 euros. It includes a drink, which can be alcohol, a first course, second course, and postre. We came to a place called Boqueria. It's a popular spot for Menu del Dia. Today we have ordered gazpacho and fideuà. We've also ordered lomo and a sauce. Dennis got the beefsteak with potatoes.
Look at the wine they gave us.
Yeah, we both said Vino Tinto. We got a half a bottle.
And a porron. So typically this is what people use to actually drink out of. We'll show a clip of us enjoying a porron at a fiesta. But we're just gonna pour it into the glass here. I'm wearing a white shirt, I don't want to spill it myself. We did see someone use the porron properly here though, this cute little Spanish guy. It's just as amazing to me that they're able to create something that's delicious from 1450.
You gotta clean up all that garlic aioli. Wow. So good. It is important to know the Menu del Dia is only offered during the week. You can't find it everywhere. Not every restaurant offers it, so you kind of have to hunt for it. But when you find it and it's good, it's the jam.
If you're going to be spending more than 3 days in Barcelona, I highly recommend exploring outside of the city. There's so many cool day trips you can enjoy. You can visit Cava wine region, which is where Cava originates from. It's like a sparkling wine. You can also go to some of the super quaint and charming beach towns all along the coast here. There's also a trip to Girona, which is only an hour away, and you can come to Montserrat Monastery. That's where we are today. We took a Get Your Guide half-day, 5-hour tour to explore the monastery.
And we're off.
The tour that we're taking includes a ride on the cog train. You can drive all the way up to the entrance of Montserrat, but we really wanted this experience. I mean, who doesn't love a scenic train ride?
This place is so important for us because the home place of our patroness, La Moreneta. She was found in a cave in the year 880, very close from here. The Bishop of Manresa came here to take her, and this is the place where he couldn't move her anymore. That's why we have this beautiful basilica from the 19th century. She is well known because it has healing powers and fertility powers. So the tradition is to come in here, go up, see her, and touch her. And meanwhile you are touching her, you have to think about your wish. And if your wish came true, you have to come back and bring her present. La Moreneta, she has baby Jesus in her lap. Baby Jesus is holding a pine cone with the left hand. That is a symbol of eternity and fertility. And then it's giving a blessing sign with 3 fingers. In this case, it's the Trinity, or the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So there's a few theories about her skin color. Some people like to think it's because of the candles inside of the cave and she became black. Or maybe it's because of the varnish that they use make a chemical reaction through the years. But actually, I think the more accurate one is that she's black. People from Barcelona come here to attend the Mass just to see her.
Very, very, very glad we came. There's so much to do here. You could easily spend a full day. There's a hotel on site, a cheese market. You can take a tram up to the very tippy top to get a beautiful vantage point, and there's tons of hiking in this area as well. Very, very cool day trip. We'll have a link down below if you're interested in doing this yourself.
Get a little snack for the ride.
Yes, I'm starving. And this one had all the cheeses, so.
Yep. This is what's happening. It's our life right now. It's getting harder, but you need to run.
We're stuck in the rain. This is our last day in Barcelona. We were going to show you the beach, all these beautiful things, and there's a rainstorm. So we're just trying to find a taxi to get home.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep. I'm moving, I got a truck.